It's unbelievable, isn't it? This year has flown by, but what a year. Just full of crises, really. We've had COVID crises, we've had political crises, and I think we're ending with the emerging financial crisis of the cost of living next year. And if we look back, the year started, of course, with the surging Delta variant and the horrendous wave of deaths that occurred mainly through January last year. But the vaccine programme was underway and we were told it was 15 million jabs to our freedom, which was set for February. Well, February came and went. March came and went. And in fact, we didn't really get freedoms back gradually until May, June and July. And to think back, it was illegal to go on holiday. The speed of change was extraordinary. And a year ago, we never expected that all adults would have to be vaccinated, not just twice, but actually 3 times. We never expected that there would be huge pressure to vaccinate the over 12s, our children. We didn't expect this huge booster programme, and I recall that there was a general understanding that the vaccines would stop transmission and prevent infection. And as we now know, they do a great job, for which we're all hugely grateful, about reducing hospitalisation and reducing the severity and reducing deaths. But the truth is that actually the hope that they might dramatically reduce infections or transmissions, that hasn't played out. I think for me, the saddest month, without question, was April. The passing of Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, was a massive loss to the nation, one of the foundation stones of, for all of us really, for the UK. And seeing that sight, we'll never forget, will we, of the Queen sitting alone in a pew wearing a mask. A lifetime committed to duty, service, self-sacrifice, and in a sense, leading the way, abiding by the rules. April was good for another reason. The pubs reopened. I know that was important for many. And then May came along. We had the local elections, and the Tories did very well. Unthinkable that just a short few weeks after and then months later, they would be struggling in by-elections and Boris would be seen as a liability. Yes, because in June, the Tories lost the safe seat of Chesham and Amersham. They had a 16,000 majority and they lost it to the Lib Dems to an 8,000 loss. Extraordinary. They weren't listening, and it was a sign of things to come. Summer, of course, was filled with the excitement of the Euro finals, England doing amazingly, getting to the finals. I was lucky enough to get to the semi-final. The joy of being back in a stadium, seeing people laugh and sing and smile, really did actually bring a tear to my eye. Of course, it helped beating Germany on the way in that final competition. And then, of course, the sadness of losing in the final to Italy. August was really filled with the disaster of the Afghanistan evacuation, catastrophic. And I think history will show that the US and the West, including the UK, made a absolutely terrible decision in leaving Afghanistan and leaving it badly and hastily. Another high for the year must, of course, possibly the greatest high in a sense, was the emergence of the 18-year-old tennis star Emma Raducanu. At Wimbledon, she did so well, but then breathing difficulties got to her in the final rounds of that. She'd only taken A-levels 3 months before. Incredible. And then in September, as a qualifier, not even in the main draw, as a qualifier, she won the Grand Slam title, the US Open. Amazing. And here's a statistic. In the whole of that tournament, the US Open, she never lost a single set. And I think I'm right in saying that never before has a qualifier won a Grand Slam tournament. And she was the first British winner of any Grand Slam tennis tournament since, well, I'm sure you had it on the tip of your tongue, 1977, Virginia Wade. September was important for another reason. Those of you who like James Bond, the film was released, No Time to Die, about 18 months late. It's great. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure you do. October, in a sense, October, I think, was dominated by the horrendous murder of the incredible MP, David Amess. At the end of October, we had COP26, and then we had those other characters, didn't we? Sigh, yes, Insulate Britain or Insult Britain, who irritated and frustrated and annoyed tens of millions of people in terms of their actions. Actually, I think they and the COP26 shenanigans, I think probably has done more harm to the cause of reducing emissions than anything else. We had the scandal of hundreds of private jets descending upon Glasgow. And also we started to see what is now the big issue of the day, the surge in gas prices, which is absolutely extraordinary. And then in November, well, the music fan lovers amongst you will recall, of course, that that's when Adele released her first album for 6 years. Incredible. But sadly, November was also when 27 migrants drowned trying to cross the English Channel. It was also the month when the Owen Paterson saga broke, completely self-inflicted dramatics for the Tory party, and Boris dramatically, rapidly lost his shine. On the doorstep, as I was campaigning in Bexley, day after day, week after week, he suddenly went from being an asset to a huge liability. And then the Partygate stories started to emerge into early December. And the Tories, having just held on to Bexley, where their 18,000 majority reduced down to just 4,000, in December, yes, it happened, the big one. They lost a 23,000 majority in North Shropshire to the Lib Dems, losing it by some 5,000 votes after more and more Partygate stories, when people realised that it was one rule for the ruling Tory elite and a completely different rule for the rest of us. And then, of course, Omicron arrived, and in a sense, for many, have changed, for some ruined the end of the year, some people's Christmases in different parts of the UK. Lots of anxiety, and caused massive problems for the hospitality industry, the travel industry, and in a sense, we're now moving into the new year. And mercifully, Omicron does appear to be much, much milder, as the South Africans originally told us, by the way. And I think as we face into the new year, it's not COVID that's going to be the big issue. It's going to be the cost of living.